Hello and welcome back to Fly to Freedom. Today I want to talk about something that no one warned me about, something I didn't expect, and something that when it happened to me made me feel like I must be doing recovery totally wrong. And that something is edema or fluid retention. Now, if you're hearing that word and thinking, okay, not a big deal, you probably haven't had it. But if you have experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that feeling of looking in the mirror and not recognizing your own face? The pain in your legs when you try to walk? You know the itching in your stretched skin? And you know the panic when your clothes don't fit, even though you're doing everything right? And you know the shame that comes from not hearing anyone else talking about this. I had edema for 18 months in recovery, and not a single professional ever mentioned it to me. It was terrifying. It was physically painful and it was emotionally incredibly confronting. And I want to share everything I learned through it so that if you're going through it now, you can feel informed, empowered, and held through the process. So this episode will walk you through what edema actually is, what it feels like, why it happens in recovery, why some people don't actually get it at all, and why others get it severely and for much longer. What your body is really trying to communicate through edema. Why fighting it or trying to flush it out actually can often make it worse. How it can actually help you with the fear of weight gain. And why, at the end of the day, edema is a sign of your body's deep intelligence. So let's get into it. What is edema? Edema is fluid retention, but not in a mild, I feel a bit puffy kind of way. This is medical, physical, tangible swelling of the tissues caused by fluid leaking from the blood vessels into the spaces between cells. And in recovery from an eating disorder, it can show up fast and intensely. You might notice that your ankles are swollen and leave deep sock marks. Your legs feel heavy, aching, and like they're carrying water. Your belly looks and feels distended. Your hands are puffy, you can't close them easily or wear your rings. Your skin itches constantly. It's stretched and it feels like it could split. Your face looks rounder almost overnight. You feel huge, but it's not fat. It's water, it's inflammation, and it's healing. When I was going through this, I genuinely felt like I was inside someone else's body. I'd wake up more swollen than when I went to bed. Frequently, I couldn't walk properly. And the itching, wow, no one told me about that. My skin felt like it was crawling, like I was wearing a body that didn't fit. And still, I didn't understand what was happening. No one had warned me that this was normal. So why does it happen in recovery? Let's break it down. When you restrict food, whether that's calories, carbs, protein, fats, salt, or when you over-exercise, purge, use laxatives, or just live in a chronically underfed body, everything in your system slows down. Your blood volume drops, your electrolytes become unbalanced, your kidneys stop filtering fluid effectively, your lymphatic system gets sluggish and your circulation becomes compromised. Essentially, your body adapts to a state of famine and tries to survive. And then you begin recovery. You start eating more, you stop moving compulsively, you rehydrate, and your body thinks, wait, is the famine over? Is it really safe now? But it doesn't quite trust you yet. So your body starts holding on to everything, especially water. Why? Because it finally has the chance to repair the damage, to bring fluid and nutrients back to places that were starved, to restore circulation, to repair cells, to flush out toxins and rebuild tissues. And water is how it does that. Your cells literally move through water. Water carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, waste products. It's the vehicle for healing. So edema isn't your body being broken. It's your body doing incredible repair work, even though it can feel awful. So what does it feel like? Let's not sugarcoat this. Edema hurts. It's not just uncomfortable, it can be genuinely painful. Your skin itches, not from dryness, but from being stretched beyond its normal capacity. Your joints ache. You feel like a balloon with pressure inside your knees, ankles, and hips. Your face might feel hot and tight, especially around your jaw or under your eyes. Your belly swells to the point you look pregnant, and people might comment. Your legs throb when you try to stand or walk as if they're full of liquid concrete. And emotionally, it's just as intense. You might feel embarrassed, disgusted, terrified that you're gaining too fast, panicked that you'll be stuck like this forever, convinced that you're doing something wrong. But really, your body is doing exactly what it needs to do. So why do some people get edema and others don't? Because that can be confusing when you're deep in the swelling and looking around thinking, why is this happening to me and not to her? Why are some people walking through recovery without swelling at all? Why do I feel like a water balloon and she seems fine? And the truth is, edema is highly individual. Some people barely notice it, some get it mildly, and some, like I did, get it with a full force for months or even years. And there are reasons for these differences. None of them mean you're doing it wrong or that your recovery is broken. So let's look at some of the main factors. Exercise history and movement levels. In my experience, both personally and from the many people I've supported, this is actually a really big one. The people who over-exercise the most are the ones that get the most intense edema. Why? Because movement is stress on the body. When you've been pushing through restriction with movement, whether it's compulsive walking, running, gym sessions, or even just getting your steps in, your body has been inflamed and under-resourced for a long time. So when you stop moving compulsively and start fueling properly, the body finally has the chance to do the repair work it's been holding off for years. And that repair process involves bringing fluid into tissues that have been chronically underused, underfed, and inflamed. It's like your body says, right, you've been ignoring me, you've pushed and pushed and pushed, and now you need to stop, and I'm going to make sure you stop. And that's when the pain, swelling, and pressure come in. It's not punishment, it's protection. Your body is basically saying, sweetheart, sit the fuck down and let me do my job now. Another one is all-in recovery approaches. Because there's a narrative that pops up sometimes and says, if you go all in, you're going to get intense edema, and that means it's bad. Let me be really clear here, because going all in is not the problem, it's the solution. Yes, edema may appear more dramatically when you go all in, because you're finally giving your body the abundance it's been begging for. And yes, this can lead to fluid shifts, especially if your blood volume and electrolyte levels were very depleted before. But that doesn't make all in the issue. It makes it a sign that your body is responding, that it's waking up, that healing has begun. And for most people, the benefits of going all in, mentally, emotionally, and physically, far outweigh the temporary discomfort of things like edema. The key is not to fear the swelling, it's to understand it, support it, and not fight it. The next one is severity and length of restriction. Those who've been in long-term restriction, especially with extreme low body weight for their body or prolonged malnutrition, may be more likely to experience edema, simply because the body has further to go in rebuilding. But again, this isn't guaranteed. Some severely underweight people don't get much edema. Some people at normal weights experience it intensely. Why? Because weight alone doesn't tell the full story. It's about the depth of stress your body has endured. The next one is hydration, salt, and electrolyte imbalance. If you've been restricting salt or overhydrating, both of which are common eating disorder behaviours, your sodium levels may be low. When you reintroduce salt, your body holds on to water to help rebalance the sodium-potassium ratio in your cells, and that can trigger edema. It's not dangerous, it's smart. It's your body stabilizing. So yes, keep eating salt. Don't fear it. You need it to heal. Rest levels. This one's actually crucial because you can't walk off edema. You can't move through it. Rest is not optional here, it's essential. When people keep pushing through, refuse to sit still, keep walking thousands of steps a day, cleaning, tidying, standing constantly, their body stays inflamed, it stays stressed, and the healing gets delayed. So the people who resist rest the most, they often have edema for longer. And the ones who surrender, who stop fighting, who sit the fuck down like their body is begging them to, they start to see it change. And then there's hormones and genetics. Some people's bodies are simply just more sensitive to fluid shifts. Hormonal changes, especially cortisol, aldosterone, and estrogen, can all influence how your body retains water. So don't compare. Just because your friend in recovery didn't swell like you did doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Your recovery will look like your body, not someone else's highlight reel. So, what's your body really saying? Let's come back to this truth, because your body is communicating with you loudly and wisely. If edema could speak, it wouldn't whisper, it would shout. You haven't listened to me for years, so now I'm going to speak so bloody loudly you can't ignore me. It's your body saying, slow down. Stop pushing through pain. Let me rebuild. Let me carry this trauma out of your tissues. Let me bring the water, the nutrients, and the healing you've been blocking. This is not a mistake, and it's not your fault. This is healing. And the more you fight it, the longer it stays. The more you try to fix it, flush it out, restrict or run from it, the more inflamed your body becomes. But when you start listening, when you rest, when you eat, and when you surrender, the healing begins to settle, and the edema does too. Now, this is going to sound strange when you're in the middle of it, but edema actually helps with the fear of weight gain. This uncomfortable, confronting, painful swelling might actually be one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have in facing your fear of weight gain. And here's why. It's involuntary. You don't get to plan it. You don't get to manage it. It just arrives fast and loud. And for people in recovery, this can feel terrifying at first. But there's also a gift in that. It takes the illusion of control away. You're not standing on a scale, inching up and trying to tolerate it. You're in a body that suddenly feels different right now. You can't hide from the change. You have to sit in it. And that is when rewiring really begins. And it brings the fear forward so you can face it. One of the biggest lies your eating disorder tells you is that you can't survive weight gain and you won't be okay. And edema brings that fear to the surface immediately. You feel bigger, clothes stop fitting, your face changes, you look down and feel like a stranger, and then you keep living, you keep breathing. You go for coffee, you laugh with a friend, you cry, you rest, you eat again, and your brain starts to realize, wait, I didn't die. I felt bigger, I felt swollen, and I'm okay. And that's where the healing begins. Not by avoiding the fear, but by moving through it with support. And by the time the edema goes, you've adapted. When it finally releases, whether after a few weeks or in my case, many, many months, you're no longer in the same mental space. You've already tolerated your body feeling different. You've learned to wear looser clothes. You've gotten dressed when it was uncomfortable and moved through the panic and built resilience in the discomfort. And so when the swelling reduces, you don't go back to where you were. You're stronger, more grounded, more familiar with your body even as it changes. This is the opposite of body checking and weight control. This is real embodiment. And it starts when you stop running from the swelling and start listening to what it's teaching you. Now, for the question everyone asks, how long will it last? And I wish I could give you a neat answer, but the truth is it depends. For some people, edema can come on suddenly and disappear within a few weeks. For others, it flares up in cycles, especially when there's stress, increased food intake, or hormonal shifts. And for some, like me, it stays for months or even over a year. I had edema every single day for 18 months. It did vary in intensity. Some days it was just my feet. Other days, my belly, my legs, and my hands were all ballooned at once. Some days I couldn't wear any shoes except flip-flops. And I want to be really honest. What made it last longer was because I tried to fight it. When I panicked, when I cut back on food out of fear, when I tried to walk it off, move more, flush it out, distract myself, burn it off with extra movement, it just made everything worse. What actually helped it settle was deep rest, consistent full eating, not pulling back on carbs or salts or fats, and hydration, not overdoing it but not restricting it, letting go of the control and trusting that my body was smarter than my fear. And eventually, slowly, the swelling softened, and then it returned less often, and then it went. And when it did, I realized something really beautiful, that my nervous system had changed more than my body had. I wasn't afraid of fullness anymore. I didn't panic about feeling swollen, and I didn't need to micromanage everything. The edema taught me how to be still. It taught me that healing doesn't always feel good, but that doesn't mean it's not working. So if you're in it right now, if your legs are swollen, your tummy's tight, and your face feels unfamiliar, and your skin is driving you mad with itchiness, I see you, sweetheart. You're not broken or failing, and you're absolutely not alone. Edema's not the end of the world. It's the beginning of healing. Your body is not punishing you, she's protecting you. Your body's not malfunctioning, it's rebalancing. And I know it's scary, and I know it's confronting. But please trust me when I say you will not feel like this forever. It passes, it softens, and when it does, it leaves behind a version of you that is calmer, stronger, and so much more resilient. If this episode spoke to you, please share it. Send it to someone else in recovery. Put it in your group chat and let the message ripple out. And if you're in the middle of edema right now, if you need support and you're scared and you feel like no one else understands, come and join us in the Eating Disorder Recovery Circle. We talk about this stuff there. The real stuff, the honest stuff, the hard stuff. You're not meant to do recovery alone. And if you want even deeper support, you can always reach out for one-to-one coaching with me, when we'll walk through it together, step by step, with no shame, no judgment, and no pressure to rush the process. Your body is healing, and you are healing, and this is part of it. I'm sending you so much love. Until next week, goodbye.